Hey, horror fans, once again, it's the Horror Miser Monty G. It's time to do another movie review as I continue to catch up on some movies I have not seen, I have not get a chance to see. This time I'm reviewing the found footage horror movie Grave Encounters. Yes. Now, Grave Encounters is a 2011 supernatural found footage horror film. It was written and directed by the Vicious Brothers. Sounds like a tag team from the WWE. They are Colin Menaheim and Stuart Ortiz. They wrote and directed this film. It stars Seth Rogerson, Ashley Grisco, Merwin Monsier. I think I screwed that up. Mackenzie Gray and Juan. I can't get this last name. His first name is Juan, but I really can't pronounce his last name. This was a very, very popular, very well-made found footage horror film that I did not get a chance to see when it first came out. A lot of people did give it the praise, saying it's one of the better found footage movies. So I finally saw it a couple of days ago, and here is what I have to say about Grave Encounters. Now, the premise is that Grave Encounters senior producer Jerry Hartfield shows found footage of what unfortunately became the last episode of host Lance Press and his team of paranormal investigators that they had locked themselves in a haunted psychiatric hospital hoping to find evidence that ghosts exist. And unfortunately, they found a little bit more than what they bargained for. And basically, we see what happens to them. And that's basically what the premise of this found footage horror picture is about. Now, let me just say that while I was never a fan, the reality paranormal TV show Ghost Hunters was very popular. Oh yeah, it ran for 11 seasons. And while the crew did show some objects moving by themselves, some other weird-ass activities, we never really saw any actual ghosts. It's clear to me that the Vicious Brothers, Colin and Stuart, were inspired by this show and created this movie. Filmed at the Riverview Hospital was a mental institution in British Columbia. They have created a nice, creepy, and scary story. They set the story up of a haunted psychiatric hospital run by a crazy, demented doctor who did inhumane experiments on his patients. And the local people claim they could hear the screams of the patients at night, which is an excellent way to set up a found footage horror movie such as this. Now, while we do get an excellent setup, and we don't get some of the problems we found with found horror. Now, while we do have an excellent setup, and we don't get some of the problems we have with found footage movies, there are some pacing problems and the scenes that drag on a bit too much. However, this is one of the better found footage horror movies that I've seen. That's mainly thanks to the actors, some good writings, and the setting itself. Now, we're introduced to Lance Preston, host of the ghost investigation reality TV show Grave Encounters. He, along with his team of paranormal investigators, we have occult specialist Sasha Parker, surveillance operator Matt White, cameraman T.C. Gibson, and fake medium Houston Gray. And they're at their latest location, the Collingwood Psychiatric Hospital. Now, there have been many stories about the paranormal activity ever since the place was closed down when it was found that the head doctor, Dr. Arthur Freakin, was accused of conducting inhumane experiments on his patients. Now, basically after a dry run and learning more about the hospital, the team is locked in and they set up their equipment, hoping to catch something interesting. And the rest of the film shows what happens to the crew. Sometimes you shouldn't wish what you get for. Now, I actually truly like how the filmmaker set up this movie. We get a nice and complete introduction to the so-called paranormal investigators, and we get a nice little backstory for the host Lance. Sounds a little bit overdramatic, but it fits this type of movie. Now, the hospital does look terrible and run down on the outside. But the inside looks white with some mixtures of gray and brown, especially in the patient's room. While the crew begins filling, the colors make the rooms look dark and creepy as the audience is waiting for something to appear. I like how that's all set up. You see it in the daytime, everything looks so nice and peaceful. When it gets night and they're locked up in the room, then when they start showing their flashlights or when they go into infrared, you can see how the white bounces off, and it just looks very creepy looking. And that's a nice setup how they did here. Now, we don't get any of the shaky cam crap that we get when we get with these found footage movies, even when the crazy shit starts to happen. But we can clearly see what's happening to the crew. You also have to give credit to the cinematographer Tony Mizra, who makes some of the imagings that we see in the film scary and terrifying. Now, we get some good acting here from the cast we have here. Seth Rogen is good as Lance Preston. He has great screen presence. He looks nice in front of the camera. And he takes charge even when the crazy shit starts to happen. He tries his best to keep the team together and sane because people do skits out when the crazy shit does happen. And I don't blame them because I skits out too. Now, I simply love the reactions the team has when the weird shit starts to happen. My best one is Merwin, who plays TC the cameraman. Oh man, he has some of the best reactions. And it fits the scene. Every time when something weird happens, he goes off. And it's just a typical natural reaction you expect people to have when weird shit happens. He gets upset, he gets pissed off, and he's scared shitless, and he carries all those emotions well. Even the fake medium, Houston Gray, has some good moments in the film. Now, they do take some liberties at times. I think one of the problems that I do have one of the film, not just pacing issues, is that when TC does have his moments, for some reason he gets back up and puts the camera back on. And I said, you would think by now he would stop filming. And that's one of the problems you do have with found footage film. It's like, come on guys, it's time to stop filming, get the fuck out. Now, the film does take some liberties on what could happen on a reality show like this. The fake medium is one idea, and I suppose that people believe some of the fake mediums that we saw on some of those reality shows back in the day, they're fake as well. To be just used for entertainment purposes. There's simply no way in the world that some of the stuff that they do is actually real. I think some of the stuff that they do is just for entertainment purposes to give the audience what they want. One of the other problems I have with the film is the pacing. There are a couple of scenes that kind of drag on too long, and it takes the suspense and tension away and making the film, I think, about 20 minutes longer than it really should be. If they would have cut some of that down, it wouldn't drag as much. I'm also glad that the film didn't rely on phony jump scares. Another problem with found footage movies, or even some horror movies, that they rely too much on phony jump scares. This film does not rely on phony jump scares. Yeah, there are some moments that will make you jump, and they're literally not phony. Trust me, they're not phony at all. And but the film mainly relies on tension and the atmosphere and what's happening on the screen and what's happening to the crew. I believe that some people may enjoy this film, others may not, because there's not a lot of blood in this film. There's some, but not a lot. There are some good minor practical effects here, but not enough to satisfy the gore hounds. I think if you're looking for something gory and bloody, this movie is not particularly going to be for you guys. So, despite some pacing issues and some of the stuff that I saw in the film with the cameraman TC, some of the stuff that we normally see in found footage film, I actually enjoyed this film. It's a pretty good found footage film. Is it the best? No, it's not better than Cloverfield, but it is better than some of the other found footage movies that I see. And this movie did well enough that we actually have a sequel, which I will actually be reviewing as well. But I did enjoy this movie. I really recommend that you go see Grave Encounters. Like I did say before, it's not for everyone. So, the Horror Miser is going to open up his vote. And I'm going to give Grave Encounters 3 out of my 5 gold coins. Yes, I'm going to give it 3 out of my 5 gold coins. I really did enjoy the film. So, my horror fans, have you seen Grave Encounters? Did you like it? Do you think it's one of the better found footage horror films? Or do you think it's just dull and lifeless? Leave your comments down in the comment section below and tell me what you thought about Grave Encounters. So, horror fans, that's my video for today. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up because it does help the channel out a lot. And once again, if this is your first time here, please hit that subscriber button. Ring that notification bell. That way you can come and enjoy the horror experience with me, the Horror Miser Monty G. And as always, all my social media links will be down in the description box below as well. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G. And always remember, horror rules. Vince, take us home. We're out.
Ha 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 ha!